standard that we want to play to? Who do we want to be? How do we want to play? What do you want to create as an identity for yourself? We've had a lot of talk about what we want to do, how we want to change. Be the change today. Okay. Be the change today. Look, what every guy needs to do here is challenge yourself to elevate the standard that you play to. High standard of effort, high standard of toughness, high standard of discipline to execute and do your job. This team will be as good as you make your mind up to make it. Everybody makes a part of that. And our standard has been established by this team over a whole season in terms of how we play, how we compete, the toughness that we play with, the effort that we give, how we go about dominating the competition. And that's all we're thinking about. We ain't trying to just be anybody. Alabama football is not just anybody. We got to go fight our fight for 15 rounds, guys. You got to do it with your effort, your toughness, your discipline to execute one play at a time for 60 minutes in the game. And we got to break their will. Everybody's all in. You attack for 60 minutes. Start fast, don't let up, and finish strong, baby. And we're going to go do it the Alabama way.
This is not the end. This is the beginning.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the four-time national championship winning head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide, Nick Saban.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. You know, when I get these sort of introductions that talk about national championships and all that, I often wonder if anybody remembers the first year I coached Alabama, we lost to ULM. Do you even know what that stands for? University of Louisiana Monroe. It's one of those directional schools in Louisiana. And it was the most humiliating loss, I think, that we ever encountered. And if you can imagine what happens after a loss like that when you go to the press conference, you're at Alabama, you lose to ULM, you have 6 turnovers, your team doesn't play very well, you're really sort of embarrassed in a lot of ways. You go talk to the recruits, you're embarrassed. So you're really feeling bad. All you want to get to do is go home and hide. You get in your car to drive home, red lights on, no gas. Got to stop somewhere and get gas. So I stopped. I went in and paid for the gas, and I had my LSU National Championship ring on. And, you know, I'm paying to the guy at the self-serve, and, you know, he says, "What's that?" I said, "Well, that's a national championship ring from LSU." And I said, "We're going to do the same thing here at Alabama." And he says, "We'll never do it as long as that Nick Saban is the coach." So. And then just in 2 years, in 2009, this is 2 years later, we go undefeated and win the national championship. And, you know, Rich Rod here is from my same hometown. We're from the same area. Actually would have gone to the same high school if they wouldn't have consolidated. But we beat Texas in the national championship game in the Rose Bowl, had a great season. So my family back in West Virginia decides that they want to have a homecoming. Well, where I grew up in West Virginia, I grew up out in the country, and my dad had a service station on the corner of Helen's Run. And I worked in the service station when I was 11 years old. Well, my wife, Miss Terry, for 42 years, lived in the city, and we met in 7th grade science camp. And I wanted to date her the whole time from the 7th grade all the way until I was a senior, and she would never have anything to do with me at all. She always had this boyfriend named Mickey Schaefer, and I could never get a date. I don't know how I would have got to Fairmont, 10 miles away, to get a date if I got one, but when I was a senior, you know, I got to be a halfway decent player, and we did okay on the field, so finally we went out on a date. We've been dating ever since. We've been married for 42 years, but we go back for this homecoming. Well, lo and behold, you know, Mickey Schaefer now has a service station. And I'm saying to myself, there's no way I'm going to miss the opportunity for a drive-by here. So we drive down through Fairmont, and I go by, and we drive by his little place, and I say, "See, Terry, if you'd have married Mickey Schaefer, you'd be over there pumping gas with him now." And she said, "You know what? If I'd have married Mickey Schaefer, he'd be the head coach at the University of Alabama now." So.